Alright, so in the last tutorial I totally screwed up and lost everything, so that was done on purpose to teach you guys a very important lesson. So you're welcome. Now I'm back in, I've locked space, I've lost my planets, but I'm on my sun layer. I'm going to create a big sun here. And again, I found that the coolest way to get this, you could use gradients, and I'll show you how to do that real quick, because I'm not going to, once you see the other way, you're probably just going to want to do it. And you click on a gradient, change it to radial, and just add a bunch of points that are kind of just going to adjust the color between kind of a yellowish. Gotta go to HSB. Let's choose like a yellow in the center. I don't know, and maybe like a slightly different yellow, maybe like an orange, and maybe you can go. Oops. Maybe you can go from there to red. It's totally up to you. This is just your imagination, however you see fit. But yeah, you can go through and make it some pretty cool looking star effects. But I'm going to go back and just do this one thing that I found that worked really well. Super simple. And that is, I'm just going to go use some effects. But I'm only going to use one this time. SVG filters, wood grain. Doesn't look at all like wood grain, but it sure looks like a sun. So let's stick to that. Now let's do another effect, and let's do a stylize feather. And I did about 25 pixels, and you'll see that that takes the edges and it just kind of softens them, which is cool because this is a gaseous mass. It is not solid. Now I'm gonna just kind of add another distortion to it, just kind of roughen the edges. And you can play around with this. If you preview it, you can see what it does. It's a bit much. I'm going to just pull that down to smooth. And let's pull the size down to about 2. Still pretty cool, though. I mean, that is undeniably looking like a sun. I don't think you can really argue that that does not look like a sun. I'm going to stick it up here in this corner. Now, when you actually go to submit this and finish your composition is only going to have the corner of the sun. But it's pretty cool. If you want to make your sun smaller, you go right ahead. You do whatever you want. This is completely your imagination. But definitely it should probably be the largest thing. Although if it's far away, you know, I could see why not. That's fine. Okay, but I'm going to show you how to also make stars. So I'm going to go back to my space layer. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to lock everything else. If you have other layers, lock them. Don't worry about them anymore. And I'm going to, in fact, I'm actually going to lock this portion of my star layer so I can't touch it. The actual space part, but I'm gonna still stay on this layer, and I'm gonna add my stars. Now to start off, there's a billion ways to do this. You could draw them in, you could paint them in, you could make little stars. It's up to you. I found a cool method. Just take a white circle, and I'm going to, in fact, duplicate this white circle and make some of them small. And some of them really small, and some of them about the same size. And basically I'll just use these three to kind of, most of them should be small on the smaller side, and we'll look into ways to kind of make this process a bit easier later. But let's go ahead and just start with this. You can take more later. And I'm going to go up here to my effects, and I'm going to use distort and transform, and I'm going to use one called pucker and bloat. Now check this out. Look at this. We just got us some stars. Pretty cool looking. Now you gotta play around with this and just make sure you're not, you know, you find an area where you like it. If you go too far in one direction, it's gonna kind of do that to you, and I don't know, maybe around 100. But there we go. That is starting to already look pretty much like stars. There's some other things you could do. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of a feather. Definitely not 22. Let's try 1. Let's try a couple. Yeah, just kind of soften them up a little bit. Yeah, that's looking like stars. Although I might have lost a little bit too much detail there. You could also try a outer glow to give it a look of... Not doing a lot of glow in there. Let's try making this a nice color. Yeah, there you go. And, you know, the more you blur it, the less it'll be kind of a crisp glow, and it'll kind of blend a little bit better. But those, you know, far away, those look like stars. Again, I think they do need a feather. Let's just keep it fairly low. I'll keep it at 2 pixels. And I think I made the mistake of giving them a black outline. As you can see, I gave them a stroke, but since I can select them all, I can just change that stroke to none. It might not. Oh, there we go. That was my problem before. That's pretty. Shoot, that's probably going to need to be smaller though, because those are pretty intense stars. So if I just took that and kind of stuck it in this corner, and maybe colorize them a little bit. Maybe I want this one to be a light blue. I'd probably want to go lighter than that. But yeah, let's go back to that pucker effect, and maybe if I don't have the stroke there, I can do some cool stuff with it. Let's just apply a new effect, and yeah, I mean it's pretty much the same as before, but I definitely want to give it more of a feather this time. So let me just go back to stylized feather. Yeah, I know. It's just telling me that it's replacing the previous one. So let's just really feather this thing. And, I think if it's small enough, I think it'll work. Stars. Let's see what you can come up with. And you got a sun today, you got stars, you got all your planets. You know, if you are ready to move on to other stuff, try adding maybe a galaxy. I'm going to show you how to do rings on your planets in the next video. So, good luck. See you soon.